Hi, Brie Michael Warner here, Tactical. So I don't know about you, but I'm really happy that it's summer. It's been beautiful days, and after a very long, cold, snowy winter, I'm ready for this summer. So I'm very happy. And with that, I'm coming today. I have a little information about this product. This is the TASER Pulse. It's the company TASER. A lot of you guys might be familiar with them. TASER provides a lot of equipment for law enforcement departments, a lot of the less lethal tasers that they use. And so this is actually something that's available now to the civilian market, and it's been available for a little bit, but I think a lot of people maybe haven't really thought much of it, haven't really heard a lot of it, so I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit today from maybe a slightly different perspective. You know, I'm sure a lot of people would ask, okay, you deal with firearms all the time, like why do you talk about a taser? Like, what's the importance? You know, I have a firearm, that's fine, that's preferred. So let me address that. Well, number one, there's definitely, and I've experienced this, there's a lot of folks that maybe are interested in firearms, they are aware that they need to be able to defend themselves, but maybe they're not quite comfortable yet to carry it on their person in a concealed carry fashion, or maybe they are in the process of getting their permits and don't have one yet. So whatever that reason might be, there is a large audience of individuals that I think are very aware and concerned about their own ability to defend themselves, however, may not currently be concealed carry permit holders. The other group that I think is worth mentioning, especially in the midst of summer, when we have a lot of travel and things like that, is that just because you have a concealed carry permit in your home state doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually able to travel to another state and legally carry your firearm. You know, we unfortunately don't have a national carry yet. So that being said, maybe the states that you're traveling to, there's no reciprocity between your home state and that state. So a lot of people run into issues because now they go on vacation and suddenly they go from being able to, you know, carry concealed and defend themselves and have all their tools to like basically being vulnerable and potentially a victim while on vacation. In my opinion, this is actually a really good option. This product, if you go to the buy.taser.com, you're actually going to get a lot of resources there, one of which is it's a list of all the different states that this is actually legal to possess, to carry in your home, on your person, in your vehicle. It's about 46 states plus Puerto Rico. And the kicker, the really pleasantly surprising thing I have to say is that in the midst of all this, I was doing some research. So the TSA, per their guidelines, per their published guidelines, as of the most current, as of this week, they actually will allow you to travel with this in your checked baggage. Okay, you cannot bring it on the plane. Don't even try. It's a no-go. However, you are able to legally pack your taser in your checked suitcase, which is big. I mean, that's a huge thing, because I think a lot of people would be concerned, well, I'm able to have one of these in whatever state I'm going to, but like, am I going to get in trouble at the airport? So, you know, obviously, I would always suggest double checking with TSA before your departure, because rules can change on a dime. But as it stands right now, currently, TSA, this is an approved item in your checked baggage. So like I said, I think there's a lot of potential uses for this, because even if you are a concealed carry firearm holder, maybe you want a secondary defensive tool. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think something like this is great for a number of reasons. So like I said, TASER, a lot of people are familiar with, because a lot of law enforcement departments, we tend to use tasers as part of our less lethal. This is actually a product that's specifically geared towards the civilian market. There's a lot of similarities with the law enforcement, the pro versions, but this is actually modified a little bit differently because the intention is a little different. So the intention of this particular product is to basically give you a safe escape. So what I mean by that is that instead of like a shorter burst, this is actually going to give a 30-second charge of about 50,000 volts. And how that happens is basically once you've engaged it, once you've pulled the trigger once and you've deployed those barbs into your attacker, and that charge is getting sent, it's going to send it for a solid 30 seconds. Basically, what it's going to do is render your attacker completely useless. It's going to seize their muscles, they're not physically going to be able to move, and that's going to allow you the 30 seconds of time that's needed for you to get safely out of that situation. The assumption is once you've deployed this and you've pulled that trigger, the 30 seconds, it's going to do what it's going to do without you needing to do anything else. You don't need to hold the trigger, you literally pull it, that's that, the unit will do what it's doing. All you need to do is drop this to the ground, you leave it, you go to seek help and file a police report. And once you've taken a copy of that report, go ahead and contact TASER, and they're actually going to send you a replacement unit completely free of charge. So whatever type of unit you have, whether it's this Pulse or the Bolt or some of their other product lines, they're actually going to replace that for free of charge. So I think as a company as a whole, that's an excellent point to point out, because I would say this is an investment. This is your defensive tool. Maybe for some of you, this is your only defensive tool. So of course you don't want to just leave it at the scene of an incident and now have nothing at your disposal. So TASER is actually going to offer you a free replacement. The other thing too with this is that it's incredibly easy to use. As you notice, it's very much reminiscent of what you would see in a concealed carry firearm. So for those of you who already work in that platform, this is a very natural, very comfortable, ergonomic sort of transition. It's very natural. And for those of you that maybe haven't quite stepped into firearms, but you're starting with the TASER, this is also going to be a really smooth transition, because, if you notice, I'm still operating the fundamental rules of firearm safety, because it still is a weapon, and you do want to take that seriously, and it's not a toy. So pointing it in a safe direction, what you're going to notice is that it actually has a ambidextrous safety. All you would need to do is disengage the safety. You're going to actually see a positive battery charge light. That's going to indicate a good battery. Each unit comes with about a lithium battery for about 50 deployments. And I say about 50 because that's actually good to know, so that in the event that you do start some training with this, you can buy additional cartridges. And I do highly recommend doing some training with utilizing the unit itself and kind of getting a good sense of what that's going to feel like. You just want to keep that in mind. So 50 deployments or in or about for the battery life. The other thing that's great about the safety, as well as the sights that are actually up on top, is that everything has been sort of shaved down, so there's no sharp edges to snag on anything, on clothing. So whether you have it in a pocket, or maybe you're carrying this in a concealed carry type of clothing, athletic wear, things like that, it's actually going to fit in very nicely in, because it is roughly around the size of like a Glock 43 or like a SIG P938. Having a product such as this that you're actually physically able to carry on your person is a huge advantage for any situation. With each unit, once you order it, it's going to come with, you get 2 cartridges. So you're actually going to get 2 of the actual cartridges itself. And I'll just show you, it's very, very easy to assemble. If you notice, out of the packaging, you're going to get, this is basically just like a safety packaging. So you're going to want to make sure to take that off of the cartridge before you actually insert it. And then here's the cartridge itself. Okay. Very small, very lightweight. The unit as a whole is incredibly lightweight, so it's one of those things that's going to add a negligible amount of weight, to your body if you're carrying it on you. Chances are you're probably going to forget that you even have it on you. So all you need to do is kind of, pinch the cartridge at the end, and you're going to just simply slide it in. And you're going to want to push it a little bit and hear that click. So once you've heard that click, it should align very flush to the unit. That's how you know that it's actually been inserted correctly. Once you need to go ahead and deploy this, all you need to do is push up on the safety, and what it's going to do simultaneously without you needing to do anything else is that this actually has a built-in LED light. So assuming that a lot of these scenarios might happen late at night in low light situations, this is a great little feature. It's going to actually give you some illumination, so you're actually able to see where you're pointing. And additionally, I don't think it's going to read on camera, but there's actually a built-in red laser. So for those of you that might be worried about getting up on target quickly, maybe utilizing sights in a low light situation, or just the accuracy component, this actually has already been sighted in with a red laser to help you get up on target. So it's very, very easy to use, and unlike what you would see in a firearms laser or light, there's no additional buttons to push. Once you've turned off that safety and the unit is actually ready to fire, these two features, the light and the laser, go on simultaneously. So it's just a one button thing that kind of gets you in the game. Another thing, another great little feature is that say for whatever reason it was a bad shot, the prongs didn't quite go in, maybe they got held up by clothing, maybe the attacker moved in such a way that it was just not a good shot. Actually, in that case, the unit itself will suddenly then become a stun gun. It's just gonna kind of emit that charge in a very close proximity, but hey, you know what? I like the fact that the unit still serves a function, even if the original shot wasn't as quite as successful as you wanted to be. Maybe again, it's a bad shot, but you're still not rendered completely helpless. You still have something in your hands that can be utilized as a defensive tool, and I think that's a great backup feature for sure. So, like I said, with training, this is something I know TASER does offer classes nationwide. If you check out their website, they definitely have a listing of classes being held in and around different states. It might be in your area. The other thing too is that even at your own home, obviously you want to make sure that, much like with firearms, you keep everything in a safe direction. But with the unit comes this target that's really interesting. It's a conductive target. So what exactly does that mean? So this particular target has been designed, there's instructions on it, so it's simple to use, and basically your kind of point of aim is going to be in this region right here if you read the instructions. So it's going to help you get comfortable with utilizing that laser to kind of sight in. And once you've deployed the probes and they've kind of seated themselves into the paper and that charge is now circulating, you're actually going to be able to see kind of what that looks like. You're going to see the product in action. Obviously it's a defensive tool, so I think really understanding the function of it is ideal, but it's also more importantly going to show you just how long 30 seconds actually is. So anyways, stay tuned. Go ahead and visit buy.taser.com and you're going to find a plethora of information there on how to purchase this unit. Also, it's got your resources about each state laws and what their requirements are, if any. And it's also going to give you a lot of information about training facilities and training opportunities in and around the country for this unit. So thanks for watching. This is Bree Michael Warner, aka Tactical. Bye-bye.